How's it going, everyone? Let's start off with the dollar. I got a downward trend. I have a opposing point here. So far for the day, it's opening down. Looks like it's coming down through that line on its lows. See if it'll bounce here. But we're coming off a double top here. And overall, I mentioned before, we have a double or a head and shoulders top. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So see if this will come down through, hold the neckline, the last lines of support, and break down through. Watch out below if it breaks that neckline. And for the week so far, there's plenty of support on previous highs. So we'll see what happens here. But it looks like a head and shoulders top on a weekly chart. Looks like it's escalating down. Let's see, let's get into the hourly. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like it busted through. Nice. There's a reversal bar right there. Busted through. Came back in, making a falling star. And that so far has taken hold. Got a hanging man up here too on the 60-minute. And so far it's breaking previous lows from yesterday. Just slightly below. So we'll see what happens here. Does it turn around? Does it hang in with the upward trend? Or does it follow that long downward trend? We'll keep on going. Do have a double top here too on the 60-minute as it got rejected into previous lows. So far on its lows for today's open, the futures market. S&P, let's see here, since we're on the 60-minute. We know that 2-bar reversal on the weekly and dailies up here. Came down into support, busted through. So now we got these higher lows. See if that line will support. Right now I got 60-minute chart. I got the breakdown below and into resistance, making this nice reversal bar here. So I got to take this reversal bar down, take it out from the bottom here, the lows, confirming that as not a hammer but a hanging man. But you can see the lower high, the breakdown, and then the bearish retracement back into resistance. So far being rejected. Let's look at the daily. We're still working off of that 2-bar reversal. We got the lower highs and the triangle is being formed. See, we got support at the gap. So far it bounced off that gap. Rejected at resistance. So it's inside the pattern. Looks like a descending triangle. Let's see what's going on here. Close and close and closer. Those steep lines of support, you can see how they're just getting rejected, slicing through on the way down. So far for the week, just hanging 10 above the EMA 8 so far. Below the EMA 8, weekly close below, let's call it 2360. Anything below that, watch out below as it will come back into support previous breaks. I do have a meeting line here, so that's good support, 23. Dow Jones, pretty much a descending triangle at the top there. Trade outside that triangle. Watch out below from 20,800. And of course on the daily, we're still looking at the 2-bar reversal at the top, came into support, into resistance, back into support, making our triangle. And now back into resistance, churning over, getting rejected by the 8 as the 8 is crossed over. Momentum is dying off this top. Another gap down here, right at support. So we'll see what happens. Descending triangle at the top. NASDAQ, still having trouble after that last breakout. Still holding support pretty nicely. Came back into previous highs again. We do have a double top working on NASDAQ on the daily. Double top working on the weekly. So that has to be taken out, or it's going to be looming the whole time. Looking for previous low breaks. And so far, it's got rejected off the top. Look for previous low breaks back into the previous range. And then we'll see what happens from there. Double top off the NASDAQ. See how that VIX is working since things are coming down. Here we go. Nice hammer. Little bottom triangle getting tight in here. Let's see if we can get this thing through. There's the volatility index there. Looks like volatility's creeping in. Let's get it above the 34. See how this thing blasts into resistance. And we'll see the reaction from the indices after that. VIX is coming from the bottom and all the indices are coming from the top. So let's do Shanghai Exchange. Looks like it's trying to break that top pattern there, or the top trend line. Look for previous high breaks. Take a ride. It's the weekly. So far, it looks like it broke previous highs here and did the retrace on Friday, and today it's creeping back in. So we got higher lows off the 34. Look for previous high breaks. Flat top break coming in. Ten-year Treasury, still working that double top. Still hanging on support. We do have a triple bottom, of course. But we're coming off that double top. See if the triple bottom will hold this time. And so far for the week, closing under, or opening under the EMA 8. So it looks like momentum's dying as the 8's crossing the 13. It's getting weaker and weaker. Plus it got rejected. So we're going to double top on the Treasury. See what happens there. Another top coming in on the Nikkei. Looks like it got rejected one more time. It's got a thin line support. Was hoping for a flat top breakout of this thing as it gapped into resistance one more time. It keeps doing that. Gap into resistance, gap into resistance. Or this one was a gap and run into resistance. I'm wondering if it breaks down, what kind of gap it's going to make. Still rooting for the flat top break though, as we have an ascending triangle. And on the longer term, We came through the 34, and this is our consolidation. But looks pretty weak right now for the week starting off. Got to hold that thin line of support down here. Looks weak so far. Let's see, crude, what's going on, crude? Hanging on support. Came screaming into support. See if it can make a turnaround, or is momentum going to carry? Right over that 34. It looks like a rejection so far on the 8. First lines of resistance on the way up, rejected. Made a higher low. So can it build from here? Next couple candles will get us above the 8, into the 13, back into the 8 for support, and see if it'll build for a base. Let's check out the monthly on this bad boy. Looks like monthly's in a pinch. Look at that. I didn't notice that before. I haven't looked at this on a monthly basis for a while. Looks like a reverse head and shoulders up the bottom. Wow. Watch the right shoulder come in. And then a flat top break on the way back if it can recover. You got a left shoulder, head, and now the right shoulder is going to come in. See what happens here. If this right shoulder comes back into support, right now it's holding. The right shoulder doesn't need to come all the way back in. This can turn on a dime, and it'll be just as well. Right now it's above the 8 on the monthly. Well, I didn't notice that before. Something to notice. I got a bullish pattern off the bottom. Monthly chart. Got to hold that line of support right where that trend line is. Our SMA 34 right here. Doesn't look healthy. Got a very thin line here. Could just come right through. But again, I didn't notice the reverse head and shoulders on the monthly chart. Didn't notice that before. Let's see what happens with the news if this breaks down. How ugly it's going to get for the oil market as it comes back into support and doubles back and comes back through. See what the media starts to scream. I always like watching the media as things add up on the longer term charts. See if it'll hold here. It'll be a nice turnaround right here and then bust right through. Get us our 60 and 70 on the way up. 50 was supposed to get us 60. That stopped short. Looks like resistance was right there. That's why. Now it's being rejected off the upside. I didn't notice that before. Probably a good time to buy and fill up your gas tank as it comes back into support. Let's see here. Coal. Coal monthly is coming off a bottom. Coming into support now off a monthly. Weekly. Nice little turnaround so far. I got this line here for support. I got this opposing point and the next opposing point, making a nice balance point for this top wave. So far it's holding. Looks like it just had to gather its legs as the daily looks bullish now. Coming across the first lines of support or resistance. Came into resistance, made a nice little reversal bar right there. Look at the gap through. Gapped open, closed all the way in. Next day, momentum carried just a little bit, making a higher low from the candle. We also have a 2-bar pattern here. which got us through the 8. Nice reversal bars. Now a punch. Looks like coal's coming off of the daily bottom. We got resistance at 40. Previous lows. Steel. Looks like it tried to bust through resistance, got rejected, came back into support. Let's see if this can build and bust through. Got a thin line of support. 2 opposing points coming on. Price is in the pinch. Bounced right off of support today. For the week, looks like it's barely just holding support. Thin line coming through on the downside. Strong downtrend line. It's got to bust through. Ultimately, you want to close above previous highs, then you can keep on going. So far, it's an ascending triangle with a flat top break coming in. Looks like steel just needed to gather its legs before it made another move. Gold, got a nice day on gold. Let's see, for the week we're so far up. 2-bar pattern last week. So the carry, looks like we're going to get, we got some momentum back. That left shoulder, head, right shoulder, 2-bar pattern right off the reverse. Let's break the previous high break the previous high breaks in here, into previous lows, bust across that 34. Let's see what kind of power we get. For the daily, looks like we're closing, opening down so far. Daily's above the 34. Looks like had a little rejection moving up. Had a top here and a previous low here. So just a little more effort can get right through there. Look for a consolidation over the 34. Don't let it come back through. I want to see this thing go sideways above the daily or move forward. I don't want it to come back through because then we have to wait. I always want to be above the trend. The trend is my friend. I want to be above that 34 on all time frames. So far we're above on the daily. That's good. It's building. And of course, that 2-bar pattern last week. And so far out of the gates this week, we're opening up. Pretty good. Feel confident. Maybe hit resistance, maybe come down, maybe do a little squirrely action, coming back and forth. Maybe. Price is in a pinch. You see support on the downside and resistance on the upside. Price is in a pinch. It's got to make a decision here shortly. Let's keep that daily above the 34. So far, it's coming back in after today's run. Silver, on the other hand, the daily is below, going sideways for a couple days, coming into resistance. Might have to gather its legs to come back in to support. But that being said, we came through the EMA 8 on the downside, came back into support. Support held. Now we're coming into the next line of resistance. Let's see what happens when we get there. Hopefully we can just pop right over the 34 on the daily. And let's see how the weekly looks. the weekly on silver, we need to close 50% of the previous red candle. Looks like we busted through it last week, but closed in. So let's see a continuation of this 2-bar pattern at the bottom. Not necessarily reversal yet, as it needs to be at least 50% of the previous candle to get any kind of momentum back. And it could be almost there. See what happens. It looks a little weak coming in here. Maybe it needs to come down into support one more time before it busts through. Looks like it's coming into resistance, coming back into support, and then we can gather our legs, come across. So it looks like gold's doing better than silver. And I believe that was opposite for a little while. Copper. Looks like copper came back into support. Got rejected. Rejected. Got a triple top over the 34. Rejected pretty good. Coming back into support now. Closing on its lows. Actually just opening down. Yeah, let's see if support holds on copper. Copper daily. Looks like a left shoulder, and the right shoulder's coming in. Watch that flat top break. 2.7. A lot of work to do as it's coming down pretty hard. On its lows, on its lows. I got support at 2.6. Can also, that right shoulder can come swinging all the way back down into previous highs. Let's look at the miners. Miners looking good. Coming back into support, making that U. Anything could happen. It could still come back into support some more. Or trying to get this price to go sideways. Somehow making some kind of consolidation above that 13. As the 8 is going to swing right past, carrying our support all on the way up. This can definitely break down into support one more time. But that looks pretty nice. Nice U coming in. Let's see if we can see anything on a 60-minute chart. Watch those flat top breaks coming in. Let's see. Let's get a flat top break at previous highs right here. Where it got rejected so far, but on the hourly, it's holding support. Pretty nice. Let's see what happens. Let's look at these 60 minutes on GDX as well. Nice consolidation right over the 34, 2-bar pattern into the 8, into support, cross the 8, into support, make a nice little hammer pop. Pop and coming back in, looking like an inverted hammer. Not perfect because the wick is not long enough. Well, I don't know. Could be very close. Always use a 2.5, the 2.5 of the body. But that looks pretty darn close. So I'll just have to tack it in there as being on the line. You can see the bust through the 8, come back into support, flat top breaks, into resistance, coming back into support, doing a double back now. Not much of a left shoulder going on over here, but I can see that right U. I guess you can consider that as your left shoulder. But it's pretty slim pickings for a left shoulder here. Head, right shoulder coming in. Look for a flat top break. See if we can do this week. We got a long line of resistance over here. Long line of resistance over here. 38 Let's get a previous high break at 38.45. Not too far at all. Nuggets coming back into support as well, doing a double back. Nice 2-bar pattern over the 13, coming back into support. Watch the flat top breaks, busting into previous lows at 933, breaking previous candles here, and breaking into those candles there. Bust across, come into support, back across, come in support, making a nice consolidation U right over the 13. See what happens. Looks healthy for the week. Left, right, coming through. Let's get momentum back, get it above that 8. Lots of work. Lots of work. We're not above the trend, the 34. Not above yet. Watch volatility come in as it crosses the 34. JNUG. I'm still in JNUG. I'm a little short. I think I was in at 730 something. I can't remember. I got a double bottom, higher low. Came across the 8. Did not stop through time. It went across the 13, came into support, made a hike, came back into support, made a nice reversal bar, came across, now it's building. Let's take out that top wick. Previous highs, see if we can get back into previous lows, start building this thing. Left shoulder ahead, right shoulder's in. Let's get above 50% of the previous candle, get our momentum back. Nice churn so far. Nice reversal bar off the double bottom. Two hammers. It's up like 36 points today. That's pretty good. Bitcoin, everyone's talking about the Bitcoin. Looks like a bearish retracement on the daily. That's a bearish flag. Let's see how long this bearish flag goes up into resistance. But you can see that bearish flag. Just flip that over and it looks like a flag in the wind. So it's a bearish consolidation pattern coming back into resistance. We'll see how far this will go up. So far bouncing. Get above previous highs on the weekly. I got resistance coming in. 3-bar pattern, as I mentioned before. Pretty drastic too. When the 3-bar pattern at the top confirmed on the downside, it just blew over. We'll see how long this bearish retracement lasts. But previous breaks is at 1160, and it busted through there, came all the way back in. So now we're in the previous pattern, which is this whole thing. I was in the opinion that this is gonna, before it broke out, I was in the opinion it was gonna hit resistance and then come down as a handle, making this a huge cup and handle. So I'll keep watching for that. It'll be pretty awesome to see a huge cup and handle like that. with a flat top break coming through. So far, we're bouncing for the week. And bearish flag back into resistance. I don't know if this thing keeps going, that patterns do fail, but so far it's a bearish consolidation. After it completes, it'll allow the price to go down further. Thin line of support. Lower high off the top. Previous low breaks. Came back in to previous breaks. Going back into resistance. So if we can get above previous highs and hold, I don't see any reason why a bearish flag can't be broken or failed. But as we speak right now, it's coming back into resistance, doing a bearish consolidation. Could be a double bottom, could be a lot of things, but right now it's in the bearish retracement mode as it comes across the 34 back into resistance. Let's see. CLF on the bottom came across the 8, came back in the support. It's got higher lows. Let's see if we can build on that. AG should be looking a little bit better. I noticed some pretty tight volume coming in on that thing today. So we got a huge 2-bar pattern into resistance, and now it's making that U as it comes back into support, filling the gaps and building. It's got a pop above resistance though. It's got resistance. It's that right shoulder coming in. Look at the flat top break coming. 60-minute chart, flat top break. It's above previous lows, or it has broken into previous lows. So we're in this nice little range. Let's see if we can get a pop on this. I got resistance at 830. Previous lows at 830. All the way up to 867. You can see that pop and then the U consolidation over the 34. Watch the flat top break coming in. That's a 60-minute chart. You had the left shoulder, the right shoulder, all the way brung it all the way back. So far for the week, we need a lot of work. We need a lot of work. That right shoulder just really took it to the cleaners there. A lot of resistance on the way up, but we're working at a higher low, double bottom. NIK, and notice that was up. Yep. Came across that daily bottom. Hope anyone grabbed that. That was a no-brainer. Look at that J curve. Bam. Came across. 2-bar pattern came across, had a double bottom. 2-bar pattern into resistance, came back into support, flat top break today. Bam. Into previous lows. No problem. I got previous low resistance at 2. So let's see if we can get another 50 cents out of it. Bam, bam. Closing on size too. USLV. USLV is consolidating over the 8. Lots of work to do. We got a V bottom. V bottoms need some kind of opposing point. So allow this to come back in, then we can find our trend on the downside. As it builds and builds and builds and gets above our ultimate trend. As it broke down, broke back in, now it's consolidating right over the 8. Doesn't look as good as the others. You can see how momentum's kind of dying out here as the 8's going to cross down. Price is in a pinch. on the hourly. I got resistance to the upside and thin lines of support on the downside. It's going to take some nice volume to get past there. One thing to notice is we're in the gap here. Let's see if we can get a pop into previous gap. That's 1450 or so. Look at uranium, see how we're doing. Fizzling out on URA into the day there. And there's your fizzle as it comes back into support. Got a 2-bar pattern into resistance, came back down for the opposing point, making our trend. Kind of build, 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 pop. All the way into resistance, came back into support. Will support carry? We'll have to see. If it does, we'll have to change our opposing point. Come all the way down to there. And it looks like on that 60-minute chart, it was fizzling out, so that could be the case. So we had a gap, fill. That's a 3-bar pattern reversal. Below the 8, into resistance, broke down. Now we're trying to get back through, but that's below the 34. Back into resistance means bearish retracement. So it came through the 8, bearish retraced, broke down. Broke through the 34, bearish retraced. Let's see what happens. We got plenty of support coming through here. Let's see for the week. Let's see what's going on here. Take care of my crap. 3-bar reversal. Broke down into support so far. But is that the bearish retracement into resistance allowing it to go down? I got support lines at 50%, 1520 into previous highs, 1435. Broke across the 34, came into support. Let's see what happens for the longer term chart. So far holding as it is bouncing into previous highs and then bounce back, and then now it's got a little rejection but still holding. Coming off a double bottom. UEC busted across on the weekly, crossed the 34, 3-bar reversal, came back into support, previous highs. So far a 3-bar reversal on the upside. Just need to get some more work done as it needs to close above previous highs. That's where it's at right now. So we had a bullish retracement back into support as it crosses over the 34. Right now being rejected. Got a higher low. Back into 8, higher low, through, coming back in. See what happens as we churn here. Breaking into previous lows. Let's see if we can get above previous highs. That's where price is right now. There's a gap over there too. No, that's not that's not where price is. I'm sorry. That's I thought that was the price line. That's my actual trend line. Oops. Got a double bottom on URRE. Bam, bam. Came across the 8 so far. A nice reversal bar. Look at that. That's almost a perfect hammer. Came across into the 13. Support. Back and forth, back and forth. Nice doji reversal. Take out that doji on the upside. 188. Confirming the double bottom. Bam, bam. Resistance at 2. Not only a emotional spot on the chart, but I got previous lows sticking right at 2. And Ivanhoe. Needs a little bit of work to get above that 34, but nice volume leading into it. So see what happens. Got a nice reversal bar here. Take out that reversal bar on the upside. That reversal bar is 327. Let's see. I want to see. Just slim pickings out there. Everything's on the uptrend though, coming off of that right shoulder turn. So let's get momentum building. Thanks for watching. Let's take a look at gold and silver one more time. Looks like gold's coming in. Looks like gold's coming in. We got a double top working. Let's take out that previous high break. And silver on the daily so far for today. Looks like we're being rejected by the 13. Double top coming in on the silver as well. So watch for prices to come into support. There you go. And the dollar's recovered just a tiny bit, so we'll see what happens there as well. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, comment. Let me know what's going on out there, and I'll talk to you soon.